everybody, John here from Core, and I have another getting started for you. Today, we're going to take a look at Stitches. Alright, let's talk about Stitches for a moment. First off, disclaimer that I always give. This is a getting started. It is not meant to be the definitive guide to a hero by any means. It is supposed to simply be a way to show you the bare bones basics so that you hopefully feel comfortable in getting right into a match with the hero. So, I gotta confess something about Stitches before we begin. I've been real worried about covering Stitches, not because I think I'm bad at him, but because I'm absolutely convinced that all video long, I'm going to miss every hook I try to show when I try to show off Stitches' moveset. So, understand that that could happen. That's my very real fear, and we'll move forward. Let's get right into it. I'm going to show you the talent build right away. We're going to move kind of fast. I want to keep these videos short and quick so you can get in and play the character. Number 1, I am going with Dampen Magic. And I imagine this is going to be something of a controversial choice, but hey, if you don't like it, pick something else. Level 4, take Amplified Healing to increase all healing that Stitches gets. The fact that he has a self-heal does mean that this talent can actually support itself, so even if you're worried that your healer might not be great, keep in mind that Stitches can still benefit from it on his own. Level 7, I take Savor the Flavor. Basically what happens is when you devour an enemy hero, you permanently increase your health regeneration by 2 per second. And you are going to basically just be stacking this. At level 10, I like to take Putrid Bile. At level 13, I like to take Indigestion, which creates a little retchling when we devour. I'm not gonna lie. I understand this is probably a silly talent. I like to have a little bit of fun with Stitches, and I have seen on multiple occasions the Retchling get the finishing blow because it gets ignored and it just follows the guy. So you know what? There's a lot of cool talents here. I'm taking Indigestion. Leave me alone. Alright, for level 16, I'm taking Fishing Hook. This is going to make your hook longer. It's going to let you go ahead and make some serious plays with Stitches. Probably don't take this if you're bad with the hook, but the whole point of this is to get good with the hook. We want you to be able to hook people. So that's your goal going in, and Fishing Hook lets you do some really cool things in the game. And finally, I like to take Regenerative Bile. Alright, that's my build with Stitches. There's a lot of times when I look at these builds and I think, man, that's a lot like other popular builds. This particular build with Stitches is one that I feel like is definitely my own, but I have seen a lot of success with it. So we're going to just take a look. Let's go ahead and get some minions out here and I'll show you the basics with Stitches. So mostly what you're going to spend your days as Stitches doing is just being obnoxious, being in people's faces, use your Devourer to get heals, do damage. You're not going to be the big heavy hitter of the bunch. Like, that's never really going to be Stitch's role. That's never really going to be what you do. But get in there, do the damage, do the poke, get in the enemy's face. If you start to lose health, you know, do your little Devour. And then, the key, land your friggin' hooks. Because that's what makes Stitches so great, is his ability to hook enemies. Make them stay in the fight longer than they actually intended. And then when they try to get away, hook them right into you. Stitches works best in the fray. Like I said, he's got a really good self-heal. That little Retchling, you know, he does what he does. It's nothing amazing. And then when the enemy goes to get away, just hook him. Because why not? Use the ultimate as a good way to keep an attempting to flee enemy at bay and make them run through it. That's really the big tricks with Stitches. I mean, truth be told, I don't want to make it sound like Stitches is the easy mode character or anything like that, because I don't think that's necessarily true, but you really don't have a lot you have to do besides focusing on being as good a tank as you can, staying alive, and most important of all, landing your hooks. Now keep in mind, when it comes to hooks, hooks can hit enemy minions. It can also hit enemy structures. So if, for example, Arthas is up there and we miss our hook, it is possible to grab that minion by mistake, and that's going to be embarrassing for you, and it's going to be embarrassing for your team, and nobody's going to want that. So be very careful with your hooks. I definitely don't really recommend putting it on quick cast. The arrow is very handy, and just keep in mind you have to lead your target a little bit when it comes to hooks. You don't just put it on them and then say, all right, cool, we got it, there he is. You want to actually try and figure out, okay, where is my opponent going to be? You can use your bile, your little poo gas here, as some effective pathing. Make sure they're going in it, make sure they're taking damage. When you start to get low on health, do a devour. And again, mostly you're just poking. So I've had a lot of people who have played with me while I'm playing Stitches, and they've said, how do you get top hero damage on a character like Stitches? He's not a heavy attacker. Like, what do you do? What is the secret to being high damage with Stitches? And the answer is, it is death by 1,000 cuts with Stitches. He is in the fight constantly because his health and regeneration and bonus healing effects allow for it. When people try to get away, he hooks them in, and his ultimate does a fairly decent little chunk of damage. If you can get an escaping team to have to run through the poop, you're doing not too shabby damage to them. It's not great, but usually if the team's trying to escape, it's because they're already hurt. So it's no laughable amount. So that's Stitches. I'm going to go ahead and call it there. Like I said, this one's going to be short because there's not a ton of nuance to the character. That doesn't mean he's bad. It just means that you need to shift your focus into different areas. It's not so much focusing on what abilities do I need to use where. It's what is the most effective way to use my abilities. In addition, you're going to want to learn advanced techniques like setting up traps to where Stitches can hide behind things and hook enemies through to pull them into crowds of enemies. If there's a spot where you know you can get a good body block, but if you pulled an enemy in, that's a really good place to do a hook as well. If you know, hey, if I pull this guy in, he's not going to have a way out except through me. Think about the hook all game. That is the most important tool in his kit, is this friggin' hook. And as you can see, with fishing hook attached, you've got quite a bit of length to hook from that you can pull them back to. So what I'm saying, if I'm saying anything at all, is be a good hooker.